Documenting old Roth IRA basis. Hi, this is financial planner Sean Mullaney. Let's discuss. So more and more Americans are thinking about early retirement, and that means living off financial assets, potentially even a Roth IRA in our 50s. And when you do that, when you take money from a Roth IRA as a non-qualified distribution in your 50s, you have to file an annual form 8606. There's a part 3 that asks, what's your old annual contributions that have not been withdrawn to the Roth IRA, and how much did you take out this year? And we want to make sure that any distribution is a return of annual contributions, or saving that, a return of old Roth conversions, hopefully older than 5 years old. And so the question then becomes, well, if I have to report my old annual contributions and potentially my old conversions, how do I document that? Because some of that stuff goes back 15, 20 or more years, and I don't just have that readily available. And there are different things you can do, right? And you have to be able to reasonably prove this to, first level would be to an IRS agent, if it ever got litigated, to the court, right? And I'm not giving you legal or accounting advice here, but I'm saying here's some things to think about in terms of potentially documenting old Roth IRA annual contributions or conversions. The first one's like the gold standard, which would be the Form 5498. That's a form that the financial institution issues to the account owner and to the IRS every year when there is a Roth IRA contribution, right? So that's just like the best potential documentation that was reported to the IRS and to you. Now, few Americans have 20 years worth of old 5498s lying around. But in theory, your financial institution probably has a few years of those, so you might want to grab those now if you're planning on taking a non-qualified distribution from a Roth IRA. What else could you do? Well, different institutions have different amounts of account histories in their systems. And Vanguard actually has a very interesting one. If you go into your Vanguard account and you pull up the Statements tab, in there, there's a button that says, try our new custom report tool. And in there, you can generate a report based on a date range. And that date range today goes back to mid-1998. So that's really interesting. The Roth IRA itself only goes back to January 1, 1998. So in theory, if you have a Vanguard Roth IRA, you can go on there and generate all the way back to mid-1998 in terms of contributions, conversions, that sort of thing. That could be very powerful evidence. Now, different financial institutions are going to be different ways. So, you got to grab as much as you can. But that might be a very good exercise. Just grab that history and then, hey, at age 56, I took $10,000 out of my Roth IRA. Yeah, but I got all this account history that demonstrates I had $30,000 of annual contributions, $40,000, $50,000. I have all these old annual or Roth conversions, whatever it might be, to help document that. Another thing you could think about is asset performance. Now, this is going to be a lot tougher, but it could be a path. You say, well, my account's worth $300,000. That had to originate from some annual contributions. Just logic and common sense tells us that. There has to be some conversions, some contributions. I didn't put $1 in there and then it grew to $300,000, right? There's no tech stock that I'm aware of on U.S. publicly traded markets that went from $1 to $300,000 in the last 2.5 decades. So that would be a way. You'd have to work through that, but at least as a potential path. Another potential path is your old Roth 401k. So a lot of folks are going to get to an early retirement and they're just going to move the Roth 401k into the Roth IRA. Now, a lot of Roth 401ks these days have a very helpful line that says basically your historic contributions to the Roth 401k, which is great. Okay, fine. That number becomes important when the Roth 401k gets rolled to the Roth IRA. That number becomes annual contributions. And remember, annual contributions all come out first. So that number by itself is a powerful number. You had $20,000 of Roth 401k contributions at your old W-2 job. You retire at age 53, roll it over to a Roth IRA. Okay, you just created $20,000 of Roth IRA annual contributions. You'd have at least that safety valve. And then let's think about this from the IRS's perspective, right? I mean, the answer is report accurate numbers. But, as you worry about your accurate numbers, it's helpful to strategically put yourself in the mind of an IRS examiner. And do we really think there's a lot of gold in the hills for the IRS of folks misreporting Roth IRA contributions? So they took a non-qualified distribution and its earnings. Remember the ordering rules. For the IRS to collect a penny of tax, they're going to have to defeat the taxpayer that they had no remaining annual contributions. So maybe the taxpayer is wrong, but they still have enough to have old annual contributions in excess of their distribution. The IRS could win the battle and lose the war. So I don't know from the IRS's perspective that there's a lot of gold in this hill. Where they, if I were them, I probably wouldn't be like, hey, we're going to dedicate all this manpower to validating Roth IRA basis, because we may find out, oh yeah, they did have enough to cover that distribution. And then lastly, I think we're going down a path with the 2025 tax law changes, which are speculative. We don't know what they are. But if they are in the direction that Trump and the Republicans have indicated, that may strongly suggest that from a planning perspective, more and more early retirees are going to want to use Roth IRAs to help fund some of that age 50, age 55, age 60 retirement. Age 60 wouldn't matter for this purpose for most Americans, but let's put 50, 55, 58. That sort of thing these tax law changes may encourage more non-qualified Roth IRA withdrawals. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to be noodling on that. We got to see what the tax law legislation looks like, but that's the direction they seem to be headed in. So there'll be more to come on the channel on that. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please mash that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.